Air travel is truly amazing. Because of it, it's easier than ever before to see the world and all its incredible cultures. But just because you're on a plane doesn't mean there aren't rules, and if you break them, there can be dire consequences. So, from turning off airplane mode to climbing into the overhead compartments, get ready for some things you should absolutely never do on an airplane.
Enjoy watching. Let's go!
Spoil shorts. My last vacation got off to a poor start. I'd only just boarded the plane when the flight attendant told me I had to take off my Batman costume or leave. It turns out airlines have dress codes. What's more, different airlines have different codes. And these can change depending on the country you're flying to. Geez, confusing or what? See, some countries, like Indonesia, are predominantly Muslim, and as such dress more conservatively than other places. So if you're flying there, it's polite to cover up before getting on the plane. But it's worth looking into clothing guidelines before getting on any flight. Dirty, torn, or revealing clothes can breach codes and get you kicked off the plane, which makes sense. But sometimes so can things as benign as flip-flops. Seriously.
Let's go!
Back in July 2021, Turkish bodybuilder Deniz Saypanar made headlines when she tried to board an American Airlines flight to Miami. Apparently, her shorts were too short, so she was duct taped to one of the chairs and left there. Okay, not really. She was just denied entry onto the plane. Somebody actually was duct taped to a seat for a very different reason, but you'll have to stick around to find out about that. Anyway, after being refused onto the plane, Saypanar was understandably upset and took to social media to vent her frustrations. According to the bodybuilder, she wasn't dressed offensively at all, and the whole thing was an attack on her freedoms as a woman. What do you think? Were the airline staff right, or has Saypanar got a good point? Would a man have been refused entry if he was wearing the same outfit? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. No signal. No problem. You've probably heard the horror stories about what'll happen if you don't put your cell phone on airplane mode during a flight. Planes will fall from the sky, chaos will ensue. Well, you'll be glad to hear that's not quite true. But you should still turn it on. When you do, it blocks the phone from searching for signal. Some pieces of pilot's equipment use the same radio frequencies as cell phones and tablets to function. So when your phone looks for a signal, it can intervene and disrupt them. Think of it like tuning an old-school analog radio. When two stations are on a similar frequency, they can interfere with one another and make the signal unclear. It's the same thing here. And pilots need this equipment to tell how far they are from the ground during takeoff and landing. Pretty important stuff. Indeed, back in January 2017, the pilots of a Boeing 737 lost all of their map displays and computers while they were in flight. Whoa! Miraculously, they managed to get the situation under control and avoid crashing, but investigators reckon someone's cell phone signal could have been to blame. As scary as this whole thing is, no planes have ever actually crashed from cell phone interference, at least not yet. However, it's still a good idea to text your mom after the flight, not during. Hello, this is your captain speaking. Don't even think about putting that phone on airplane mode right now though. Hit those like and subscribe buttons instead. That way, when we land, you'll never miss another amazing video like this one. All done? Okay. Enjoy the rest of your journey, Phantom Flyer. Now, I've been on quite a few flights in my life, and they've all been pretty boring. American actor, Emerson Collins, definitely can't say the same though. In September 2022, Collins was on board a plane when suddenly he started hearing this. And it didn't stop there. Strange, guttural noises carried on for seemingly ages, and at one point, a flight attendant had to announce an apology. Ladies and gentlemen, we realize there's an extremely irritating sound coming over the public announcement. The flight deck is trying to troubleshoot, trying to turn it off, so please be patient with us. We know it's a very odd, and so what the heck is going on? Well, this wasn't the work of some high-flying ghost. Somebody had apparently hacked into the plane's PA system and was pranking everyone on board. How they did this, nobody's sure. But the weird noises went on for the entire flight. if you got caught doing this, I'm sure you could experience some serious legal repercussions. But as far as I'm aware, nobody did get caught, and the mystery remains unsolved to this day. So the main consequence was just annoying the hell out of the captain and cabin crew. Hey, I'm not complaining, I just got a new ringtone.
Enjoy watching.
As the most populous country with almost 1.5 billion people, China has an amazing culture, but even though it has the most people, it doesn't mean that all the habits, rules and customs of China are normal for everyone. From strange delicacies and wedding traditions, to reasons why the police use geese, let's explore the different oddities that will surprise you, but in China happen every day.
Wow, situation.
Sleep country. China is the second richest country in the world, so everything is geared towards success. But how do the Chinese stay so productive? What is their secret? It's very simple. In sleep, a good night's sleep is proven to improve concentration and learning, and also reduce stress levels. And if you get some sleep at the beginning of the day, it will improve mood, performance and vigilance, and the Chinese know this well. So much so that sleep, especially after dinner, is firmly rooted in their culture. They have a common saying that if you don't sleep at noon, you will collapse in the afternoon. Therefore, the Chinese are often even encouraged to sleep during working hours in order to become more productive. Seriously, factories and offices in China allocate time for sleep after dinner. Why? It's all about the concept of 996, introduced in 2000. This is a job from AM to PM 6 days a week. Such a schedule has contributed to the economic boom across the country. But although it includes a 2-hour break during which you can sleep, agree, this is a very long working week, considering how the usual daytime siesta, now and then you can see people sleeping in a variety of places, from public transport and even to the store. This guy actually hung a hammock right in the subway. But these electricians get the prize for the most dangerous sleepy work. They tied themselves to power towers at a height of about 50 meters, and then lay down to take a nap. Climbing such high towers is incredibly difficult, and in order not to climb up and down, they stay at the top all day and come down only to eat. You have to really want to sleep for this. But such a dream is not only associated with work. The habit of sleeping during the day appears even in elementary school. Take for example the children of Gossen Primary School in Shaanxi Province. After lunch, the whole class lies down on their desks and a quiet hour begins. However, in one school in eastern China, children now sleep in tents because lying on a wooden desk leads to poor sleep and back problems. In any case, while sleep improves productivity, I doubt our superiors would approve of such an idea. One of our men almost got fired when he caught him sleeping. Red Sea. Given that China's flag is red, it's no wonder it's an important color for the country. It symbolizes good luck and joy, and even drives away evil. However, there was no luck when the rivers turned red. Stretching for 6,300 km, the Yangtze River is the longest in China and the third longest in the world. However, in 2012, she suddenly acquired a red tint. Why? No one could understand, although it was suspected that this was the result of illegal dumping of waste. The main concentration of red was in Chongqing, a major industrial center in China. Apparently, the water was dumped by some kind of industrial waste, because of which it acquired this ominous shade of red. Waste management has become a lucrative industry in China, and the waste management market is expected to grow by as much as 7% from 2019 to 2024. Companies can increase profits even more by hiring intermediaries. However, often the waste is transferred to a secondary intermediary and so on, until they are eventually dumped illegally, usually into some river. It was reported that in 2016 alone, nearly 10,000 tons of waste from Haining City alone was dumped into the Yangtze. But perhaps the strangest case occurred in 2013, when 16,000 pig corpses ended up in the river. It seems the unusual color of the river is still far from China's main problem. Watch your manners. If you eat like a Shrek, then you must have been told not to chew with your mouth open, not to smack your lips, not to burp, and just not to dirty the table. However, in China, you would be praised for your behavior at the table. Here, slurping sounds while eating noodles and smacking is not just accepted. but is considered a compliment to the cook, and means that you really like the food, and if you feel like burping, don't be shy, because this is also a sign that you like everything. However, I don't like one part of table etiquette, and this is the habit of spitting, which is often observed in Chinese restaurants. In many dishes there are small bones, seeds, peel, and instead of picking them out, it used to be customary to simply spit everything on the floor. Spitting was once considered cleansing in China, so people still do it from time to time, but now it is no longer so accepted in cities like Guangzhou. Been spitting in public places in 2020, as long as it is not in my food. Heavy load. In 2018, China's merchandise trade exceeded $4 trillion, about 12.4% of global trade, but demand sometimes exceeds supply and vehicles in China are horribly overloaded with goods. In fact, according to the authorities, 80% of transport is overloaded. If you think I'm exaggerating, listen to this story. In 2019, two trucks were driving on an overpass in Jiangsu province. The first truck was carrying 7 stacks of steel coils, and the second one was carrying 6. That is, the total weight of the extremely heavy load exceeded 100 tons. The first truck managed to cross the overpass safely, but as the second truck approached, the entire structure suddenly collapsed, crushing the vehicles underneath. Fortunately, the truck driver escaped with injuries, but 3 other motorists unfortunately died, and this is not the first time this has happened, with an estimated 69 bridges collapsing between 2006 and 2016 due to overloaded vehicles. That's 7 bridges a year, and more than 1 bridge collapses every 2 months. It's not normal. The authorities are tightening inspection rules to avoid new incidents, but judging by photos like this, people do not seem to care about the risks posed by overloaded transport in China. There are at least 50 chairs. Pin in the neck. The Chinese army is the 3rd largest in the world, so it is not surprising that everything is strict in it. However, some customs go too far. For example, the famous combat stance is used in most armies of the world. This is when the soldiers stand with their chins raised, their chests puffed out, their shoulders squared, and their stomachs pulled in. But in China they are not going to take risks, and a very cruel method is used to make the soldiers stand upright. There are many photographs in which a pin sticks out of the collar of soldiers. If the soldier slouches a little or relaxes, the pin will prick him, but maybe that's not such a bad idea. Here many people have a posture like Quasimodo. Goose police. Cops always have to be ready for anything, which is why one police force in China uses big guns, or rather big geese. Seriously, the police in Xinjiang have recruited flocks of geese into their ranks. Why was it needed? Geese are vigilant animals due to their territorial nature, much like watchdogs but with wings. In October 2021, the Goose Army stretched for 480 kilometers to prevent illegal migrants from bringing any diseases. And in December 2021, one goose began to scream. The rest of the flock began to make noise after it, and the police caught 2 people trying to cross the border. Haha. Hooray! Respect elders. From neighbor gossip to clothing store discounts, visiting your parents isn't always fun. However, in China it is the real law, yes. According to the Law on the Protection of the Rights and Interests of the Elderly, which was adopted back in 2013, if parents are over 60, their children are required to visit them. In addition, Article 11 of the 2nd chapter prescribes that the children of the elderly should provide for them, take care of them, comfort and satisfy special needs, but no one monitors this. And because of the vague language, many people criticized this law. Really, what does special needs mean? Soften food, walk dogs, or become a footstool? Be that as it may, if the children do not visit, their parents can apply for mediation or even go to court. But if the child does not want to come even despite the law, nothing will convince him. Do you love your parents?
Write your comment. Enjoy watching.
Shocking facts about dreams. Everyone sees dreams, even those who think they can't see. Exceptions are people with severe mental disorders. Scientists conducting research on dreams came to a very interesting conclusion. They found that only smart people remember dreams. This conclusion was made after a study of more than 2,000 people. The majority of people surveyed say they do not see or remember dreams. 90% of dreams are forgotten. Within 5 minutes after waking up, 50% of sleep is forgotten. Within 10 minutes, 90%. Perhaps sometimes this causes uncertainty.
Wow!
It seems that the process of fixing events in memory during sleep is disabled. For those who claim that they do not dream, this blockage is more complete than for others. According to Plato, dreams originate in the organs located in the abdomen. He believed that the liver is the biological source of most dreams. People who grew up on black and white television see mostly black and white dreams. Most of us dream every 90 minutes, and the longest dreams 30-45 minutes happen in the morning. Dreams can be controlled with proper practice. You can arrange dream series for yourself. Return to the place where the dream was interrupted last night.
Wow!
Nightmares are normal. They are seen by all people in all cultures. Most of the nightmares we see in childhood, their number decreases with age. The feeling of falling in a dream usually happens at the beginning of the night, in the first stage of sleep. Even the faint light from digital clock numbers can make you sleepy. The fact is that the light turns off the nerve switch that is responsible for falling asleep. Because of this, the level of the sleep hormone drops sharply in a few minutes. The pre-sleep stage is similar to meditation as the body prepares for sleep. It relaxes. This applies not only to all processes occurring inside it, but also to the brain. You cannot snore and dream at the same time. People only snore during non-REM sleep. During this phase they do not dream. And a little about the dangers of snoring. 10 of those who snore suffer from choking in their sleep. These people stop breathing up to 300 times a night, which dramatically increases the risk of heart disease. Most often, dreams show negative rather than positive emotions. The most popular emotional state in dreams is anxiety. Rarely remember dreams or do not remember at all people who tend not to notice or ignore what may cause them anxiety, although the problem, if any, is not solved by this. In a dream, many discoveries were made and great things were invented. Mendeleev in a dream saw a table of chemical elements. Paul McCartney the song Yesterday. Animals also dream. From an evolutionary point of view, the dreaming stage of REM sleep is the last stage of development that can be found in the human body, as well as in other warm-blooded mammals and birds. Flights in a dream most often try to explain this to us as the reasons for physical growth. If you fly, then you grow. But is it? Ethologists have come to the conclusion that the flights that we make in a dream are connected with the fact that the most ancient genetic program is manifested, which is recorded in the memory of a person. Flights in a dream have been known since ancient times, when no one suspected that an airplane would ever be invented. Flying in a dream can express both our hopes and life's fears. Children under the age of 3 are not able to see themselves in a dream. The biological clock does not reset. Our biological clock is always accurate. One sleep-wake cycle lasts 24-25 hours. Dreams prevent psychosis. Sleep is a rehearsal. Scientists are increasingly leaning toward the idea that the biological significance of sleep is to ensure the survival of the species, be it rat or human. In dreams, we train ourselves to avoid danger. It seems that this is what dreams with threatening content are for. For example, swimming across a river or running away from a dangerous animal. But thanks to a special state in sleep, in which our muscles are almost immobilized, all this rehearsal takes place at the level of the brain. Thus, we learn ways to save our lives in a dream so that someday we can use them in real life.
Please like, share, subscribe.